can't wait to talk to our actual guest this evening. Rob, would you care to introduce them?
Yes, I will. By the way, I just looked up 59th anniversary. Yes. Okay. 5-9. All right. So, yes, what are we doing today? Today we are talking to several people or entities, I will say. First off, Brian Keith Dalton is our guest. He's a former Mormon or a foreman, a term he coined. He's also recently coined the term excusagists, make-believers, and Godshimers, which we will no doubt also discuss. Brian is a YouTube atheist pioneer with a background in music, video production, and graphic design, and he started his first web series, Mr. Deity, in 2006, just 2 years or so after YouTube itself was created. And as of now, he has accumulated over 18 million views on his channel for that series and for the many other video series exploring the problems with religion. And our second guest, Mr. Deity, who will manifest later, needs no introduction, so I'm not going to do one. So welcome, Brian.
I
Welcome
didn't know
back
if
to
I
the
had to
show.
unmute myself. Hi, by the way, I just have to say Man Trap is also the title of the upcoming biopic, the Epstein biopic. I don't know if
Uh,
you knew that. So
okay.
Amazing. Y'all, don't tell me jokes about movies. We found out a couple of weeks ago that I'm very gullible when it comes to that. You're going to tell me Charlton Heston is starring in it, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, I think I saw
Of
that.
yes,
course he is.
yes, yes.
Well, with bringing back actors who've passed away, they could do anything. So he might be.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't, you don't know.
That's
yeah.
true. I
So,
love it.
so Brian, first off, I want to ask you, since it's been over a year and a half since we had you on, are those terms foreman, excusagists, make believers, and Godshimers, are any of those catching on with the larger community?
I know excusageist has become popular. Make believer is a
Right.
recent term I've been using. Godsheimer's is kind of my own thing. I don't know if anybody else is using it.
Yeah, explain that one. That one's not so.
Godsheimer's is when an apologist forgets something important about God. It's usually one of his omni properties. Like they'll make an excuse for this or that, but then they forget, oh wait, he's all knowing, so
Right.
we can't
God,
use
God
that
couldn't do
excuse.
anything about that. Oh, wait a minute.
Right, exactly. So it's that's what a case of Godsheimer's is.
And make believers. What's that term about?
Make believers is just, I'm not referring to them as believers anymore. They're make believers because that's all it is make believe. It's just make believe. So I'm calling them make believers from now on. I'm just sick of like the term believer has some respect almost to it, but make believer not necessarily. And I don't think make believers should get any respect. So
And I've heard you
Interesting.
adding prefaces to Excusagist lately for specific issues.
yes, very much so. I we have to. In fact, then I will call them apologists, so that it's clear who they are. I think we have to start referring to these people as with the with the descriptor of what they apologize for. So if you're a rape apologist, we call you a rape apologist. If you're a genocide apologist, we call you a genocide apologist, a slavery apologist, a misogyny apologist, a homophobia apologist. We just include all that. So many of them have multiple titles that you can add on. In fact, almost all of them are all of those things. So, I generally would, narrow it down to maybe the top three, which in my book are genocide, rape, and what would I put on the third? That's a tough one because misogyny is so widespread, right? You got half the population. So, but we do have the rape in there already. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe slavery. Slavery is a big deal too. But yeah, I think we got to start calling these people who they are, and I'm doing that now all the time, and it's kind of fun to just repeat over and over again in a video. I just did one which you haven't seen yet, but only the patrons have seen it, with Frank Turek lying about slavery, and I got to call him a rape, genocide, and slavery apologist over and over again because I know he's done all of
Oh,
those.
and who is that?
Frank Turek is a
Oh,
oh man, he is such a piece of work. He's a few years older than me. He tries to be cool and smart and really works hard at coming off smart. but he's such a schmuck. He is just a disgusting human being. Um, if you don't know who he is, he's hard to describe because he's very charismatic. He's got, he's got a good look going. Not quite the hairline that I have, but we won't go into that. Um, he's he's just such a pretender. I mean, he's such a slimy, sleazy guy. This last video, he's I think it comes out when does it come out? It doesn't come out, and I think until the last week of the month. But it's he's talking to Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk asks him, "Well, what do you say when people say, oh, the Bible God allows slavery? Well, do you know the kind of slavery?" And then he goes into the whole thing about it being debt slavery, that a Hebrew can. He knows. He's been doing this forever. He went to an apologetics university. So he knows, what is it, Leviticus 25:44 through 46, about where you can get your slaves from and how long you can keep them and all of that stuff. So they're just disgusting people. They really truly are. They're awful, awful human beings. They will lie through their teeth at every turn, or
That's
I've
their
seen
tooth in Frank
their
Turek's
tooth.
case.
I,
But
I've seen several of his. I don't know if they're debates or arguments, and it is very much as you describe. He's one of those people that will go off on these. I will call it a tangent, where he'll make these arguments that they're very sciency sounding, which is one of
right.
those kind of red flags that we're about to hear some pseudoscience or some slippery business is taking place. But he'll go into these discussions about, because of cosmology, this is how we know that the Christian God of the Bible is real, because of some obscure paper he read about that has to do with cosmology, which of course does not in any way, shape, or form conclude anything to do with what he's talking about, but just simply throws out unrelated sort of references to scientific articles that he knows no one is going to read or follow up with him on, and that do not say what he is saying, and then just moves on. It's very slippery. I really dislike the intentional intellectual dishonesty is the thing that
Yeah.
really gets me with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last month I did a video on him where he was questioning a student about how do you know that rape is wrong, and then it turned into how do you know that genocide is wrong. Well, he forgets that both rape and genocide are totally okay with God. I mean, it's actually the most grotesque form of rape you can imagine, because it's rape marriage, as I call it. It's if you get raped, the guy who raped you has to pay the dad, the father, the full bride price as if she's still a virgin, and then she has to marry her rapist and be raped
Yes.
for the rest of her life. I mean, it's just the
Yes.
most disgusting stuff.
It's
Um,
horrible. And for people who want to make this argument that, oh, well, that was just part of the culture at the time, we don't have to worry about that. No, that's not true. Fundamentalist believers still teach that kind of thing. Like if you look at the booklets that a lot of people had with the IBLP and the Bill Gothard program and all of that, those fundamentalist Christian programs still include those teachings,
right.
and pieces of those teachings. So to say that it doesn't matter or it's not harmful is not accurate. There are people
Plus,
that are living by that as their guidebook for life.
plus the Torah says that these laws come from directly from God. So to say that it's culture is, well, you're ignoring your own holy book, which I get it. I would do that too
I,
if I were on that team.
I would recommend it, in fact.
Yeah,
If you're reading a
absolutely.
book that's recommending that, let's not do that part. That is within our
Yeah,
power.
yeah.
so
Absolutely.
Brian, the other apologist I see you smacking a lot is the person you call Low Bar Bill.
Oh God.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So what's your beef with him?
He's my arch nemesis, I think. If I had an arch nemesis, it is William Lane Craig, who I call Low Bar Bill, because he what is it? It's been probably 2.5 years maybe, where he was on a podcast, and a kid wrote I guess they were reading it off of a thing a kid wrote about how, shouldn't these are pretty big claims? Shouldn't we, have raise the epistemic bar here in terms of what we of what we demand in terms of the evidence? And he went on this thing about how I I lower the epistemic bar, and people could not believe that he was admitting it. It literally spread across atheist YouTube like a wildfire. It was really amazing because he said so many things in this one interview, about why and how, he heard the gospel message when he was a young teenage kid, and how, when I heard that God loved me, he loved Bill Craig. I mean, the way he says it just kills you. It's like, wow, this is the guy who has spent his whole life trying to make an intellectual case for this God belief stuff. Oh, hello, kitty friend. Hello, kitty friend.
Oh, it's
Oh,
Peggy
so sweet.
Sue, our mascot.
He's spent his entire life trying to make the intellectual case, and when it comes down to it, basically he jumped on board because he heard the message that God loved him. God
Yeah,
loves me. Yes.
so
And
I've actually written on this subject as generally not specifically about religion, but about people believing all sorts of things. And the title is like, some people just want to believe, and they will lower their epistemic bar or anything so that they can continue to believe that thing. And that's a good example of it.
right, right.
So
But he's just constantly, the man spent so much of his life working on something called the Kalam cosmological argument, which is basically just two premises and a conclusion. Whatever begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. That's it. That's okay. So if the two premises are true, then the universe has a cause. It's not like the Kalam tells you what the cause is.
also
It's
there are a lot of assumptions built into both of those
right,
premises.
right. Absolutely, absolutely. So he spent his life working on that, and I mean, like, seriously doing serious philosophical publishing and researching, and he's trying to understand the physics of it. Of course, he got creamed a few years ago by Sean Carroll, who's an actual physicist. Bill
Oh,
is not.
yes.
He has a master's in theology and a PhD in philosophy. That's a dangerous combination. And he absolutely got pummeled by Sean Carroll. But it's an argument that doesn't get you anywhere. It literally says there's a cause to the universe. Okay, well, even if the universe doesn't have a beginning in any way, one can imagine still, in some way that we can't possibly understand, that there's a cause behind whatever.
Yeah.
We just don't. It's so silly. But then he has these other things where he's he's not a young Earth creationist. So he wrote a book a few years back, In Search of the Historical Atom, or The Quest for the Historical Atom, something like that, in which he posits that there really was an atom, but he was a Homo heidelbergensis, from a million years ago or 700,000 years ago. There's the span of Homo heidelbergensis. And but then when you go to his website and people ask him, like there was one kid who asks him about what about, did God build in the all of the death and everything? If the death wasn't occurring because of the fall, did God build in death to our world? And if so, why? And he's made fun of the whole garden story. He's said, really, there's this God walking around through a garden, and there's two trees with these magical abilities. But in his answer to this kid who wrote him in this question, maybe he wasn't a kid. I shouldn't call him a kid. He starts referring to the trees and how Adam could have eaten from the tree of life, and it would have all been, there would have been no death. I'm like, pick a lane, dude. Pick a lane. Which way are we going? Are we gonna have this garden story and Adam and Eve like it is in the Bible, or are we doing Homo heidelbergensis? And why not Homo erectus? Huh? I mean, come on. Homo
Well,
erectus
right,
is still
that's
Yeah.
the champ, right?
I,
2.1 million years. You got to give it to
I
Homo
think that
Homo
name may
erectus.
make him blush, so he doesn't want to use that one.
That's very good. That's true. Yes, he seems like a tight ass, I have to admit. So you're probably right.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Yeah,
so I've
he's
seen you discussing these things on your series, which is more current than Mr. Deity, The Way of the Mister, and also The Way of the Mister Quickie. Right.
yes.
So, how do you decide on the topics you're going to do each time for those?
Oh, it's a hunt every month. It's a hunt. I watch so much content. It should be illegal. And I try to find something that I get really kind of upset about or inspired by or something like that. I want to talk about. I see something. I go, oh, I got to talk about
Is
this.
it ever
Um,
somebody sending you something? So you have to do something on this.
no, but a lot of times I have two this month that I'll be doing because what's wrong, baby? Hold on, my doggy is freaking out. Okay, you okay? All right, come here. So I have two this month that are going to be based on, and one last month that was based on somebody writing a comment, and they had a great point in the comments, and I thought this deserves a whole video of itself. There he goes. Okay, handsome. Hi, handsome. There's my boy. So,
Oh, do we get to see the dog?
uh, Crazy Gray, Crazy Gray. There's my handsome
Oh,
boy. Oh, that's such a good stretch. Yes, and a good lay down. What a boy. Oh, he's amazing. And he is up
what a
for
good
adoption,
dog.
so just let you know. Um,
Hey.
yeah, so it's I mean, I do spend a lot of time watching content and I really appreciate when people have great comments. Sometimes people have really I hate it when people will make funnies in the comments that I miss. That's the one that kills me. I don't mind being intellectually outgunned, but when they're making funnier comments than I made in the video, that hurts. That's just so painful. But my people, the comment section on my videos are amazing. They're so much fun. It's my favorite thing about doing these shows is I read every comment probably for the first 3 days because my people watch my videos within the first 2 or 3 days, and then they're done. Everybody's
yeah.
done. I'm
You
not going to
you
get
you
any more
you've
views.
answered me a few times, but mostly
Yeah,
leave
yeah,
me alone, Rob. But yeah, you have.
yeah. Stop stalking me, Rob. Um, yeah, but I don't know. It's I have certain things usually during the time that I'm writing stuff for this month. I just have a so I email myself. Every subject is WOTM idea or Mr. Deity idea, and then I write it down in the thing and I email it to myself, and then I flag it so I can easily find them every month when I start writing. And some of them I look at and I go, I can't. This doesn't have any legs. It's
So,
a
is there
good like
any Mr.
yeah.
Deity in the future? Since you just mentioned that, are you
Yeah,
still?
I'm trying to get Sean back on, who plays Jesus,
Mm.
to do I want to do an episode between Mr. Deity and Jesus. I won't tell you what it's about, but I have a subject that I want to do with him, and he's totally game for it. I just have to write it at this point. He's moved and he's quite far away from me. I don't even know where the hell he is. He's still in California, but he's quite a bit north of me now. I think he's in Ventura County. I'm in LA County. Um,
But some of
but
your
he can
later shows
shoot.
have
He can
already
shoot
had
his.
people on Zoom, right, or some virtual media.
Well,
And
he can shoot. Yeah, he can shoot his own stuff because his wife is an actress um, who you might actually even recognize. But they have all their own equipment because now in Hollywood you don't go anywhere for an audition. You shoot your audition, and then you just send them a link to a YouTube page or maybe even the video file. That's probably less likely. So they have all they have all the lighting and audio and everything. So he can shoot it on his own. Which is what I do when Jimbo, who plays Larry, he's been on the show a couple times in the last
yeah.
couple of years. That's the way he does it. He's in North Carolina now. So yeah, we have to do it that way. We have to do some kind of video conferencing because we can't be in the same room together anymore.
So,
So,
regarding your series, last time you mentioned that you were working on finishing the God Distraction series. Did that happen?
That did not happen. I still have not finished the God Distraction. I would like to finish that up. I have lost my notes. I cannot find my notes, and they were extensive, and it kind of just set me back.
Did the
And
dog
I'm
eat
not
your
sure what
notes?
I've done with
The
them.
dog ate the
I
dog
gotta.
ate your notes. That's what always happens.
The dog ate my notes. I gotta go look on some older hard drives that I still have. I have a zillion old hard drives sitting in my closet, so I gotta see if I can find them somewhere. But that was kind of a like crap. Um,
Have you tried
really, yeah,
praying to see if that
I
helps?
have
Yeah.
to all the gods. I pray to all the gods. Yeah, just in
Wow.
case. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
no
it
one ever
hasn't
answers
worked.
me though. Yeah, no one ever
Yeah.
answers me.
Typical.
So, yeah, it's quite a letdown, especially
It
with
is.
Ganesha, because Ganesha's so cute, and you think, oh, he's gonna be, he's gonna be my bud. You know, he knows I
Yeah.
love elephants,
Right.
and then
You would
nothing.
expect that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I find it works really well if you ask real people to help you look for things. They
yeah,
sometimes do show up and help you find them.
yeah. But then you have to be around people, which is not my
There is
favorite
that.
thing. So, yeah,
Yeah, that is a
yeah,
downside that they do
yeah.
show up.
Just people. Ugh,
Ew, people, gross.
yeah.
This is why
And
we
I
do
knew,
this on Zoom.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
mute yourself and turn off your camera anytime you want. Go, oh
Right,
no, I'm
right.
having technical difficulties. Uh-oh.
Exactly. That's my play too. Yeah. Been there, done that.
It's all right. We'll forgive you.
Okay. Thank you.
So for anybody that wasn't here last time, can you tell us a little bit about like what's the concept behind the Mr. Deity show and what do you hope people get out of it other than obviously laughing and enjoying the comedy?
The Mr. Deity show is basically just a satire about God and the universe, and has had four main characters: Mr. Deity, Larry, who's Mr. Deity's long-suffering servant, um, Jesse Jesus, and he's Jesse Jesus because Mr. Deity can't remember his name, so he always calls him Jesse. And then Lucy, or Lucifer, who was played by my ex-wife, Amy. And it was basically just a way to have fun and kind of, point out that there are problems here that one of the things that I wanted to do was like concretize these abstract concepts that people just kind of accept because they're abstract. They don't have a real life kind of, here you go, like so in the first episode, Mr. Deity's talking to Larry about the evils he's going to allow, which, if you think about it, this is something that God had to decide, because we're not allowed to do any evil or all evils. Like, I can't harm you with my thoughts, so there's a limit there. I can't push you gently into a void. There's so many ways that we could harm each other, that we could there are all kinds of evils that are not allowed, and they're going through the list. And when you start to think about it that way, yeah, I'm going to allow this, I'm going to allow that, it's just so brutal to think about God actually deciding. We didn't even do anything harsh. We were trying to keep it light. Nobody did like baby rape. I didn't go that hard on that, but you can, right? Like, God knew babies were going to get raped and tortured and then murdered in just the most horrible, awful ways, and said, yeah, I'll allow it. You know, it's so, once you concretize things like that and take these abstract ideas about, oh, God gives us free will. Yeah, yeah, he gives you the free will to take my free will. What the hell is that about? Come on. So it was more about just trying to play with it and have fun. And with my Foreman background, I played Mr. Deity as more like a Mormon god. He's not the God, capital T, capital G, because the Mormon God is not the God. He's a God. He evolved, or I don't know what to call it. He learned to be God. He went to God school or something. I don't know, God college, um, and clearly not the best one. So I played it a little more like that, where he comes out of the void. His parents are null and void. That's who his parents are, and he leaves that space to come into another space, which is the cosmos, and then he realizes there's a conglomerate running everything. He is a god, but he doesn't have total control of everything, and he has to get permission for a creation event, which he can't get because he can't pass the psych test. He has anger issues, so they don't allow him a creation event, and so he goes rogue and he creates this universe, which is why it's so shitty, because they don't have the resources and the funds to have proper good to evil ratios with sentient beings and all that kind of stuff. So you get into that in season 4, which was a disaster for me. In terms of it was a prequel season. I thought that would be clever. We had all these prequels happening, and I thought, let's do a prequel season where I have no actual material to work from, because there's nothing before in the beginning in that book. That's the first chapter, that's the first line, and if you try to go past that, then you're all on your own and you're just making up shit as you go, which was kind of fun to do. But the first episode of that season was very hard, because you're talking about let's make a story about a being who lives in a timeless void of nothingness. Yeah, where's your story there? So yeah, and we just had a lot of fun poking here and there, or just setting the scene of, there's one where the conquest of Canaan is taking place, and Larry's so upset about the whole thing, because Larry and Lucy are pretty much the conscience of the show. Mr. Deity is kind of he's a lovable dipshit, basically is what it is. He's a total ass. Um, he's dim. He's turned off his all knowingness. So when he was all knowing, he never used his brain or his memory, because he's all knowing, right? So if you don't use it, you lose it. So once he came out of the void, he's not too bright anymore, and he's callous and uncaring. It's almost like I took the character right out of the Bible when you think about it.
Yeah, well, I think that's what makes it kind of funny, though, is it's all well and good when people have this very abstract idea of, oh yes, God is love, God is good, God is all powerful, God
Right.
is all knowing, blah blah blah. But okay, what would that actually look like?
Right.
And I think you make it, you do a really fun job of making something that's potentially very serious and very scary and terrible, kind of funny and lighthearted. I mean, that it is
Right.
satire, but I think
And
it really hits for that reason.
I always tried to play the character based on the actual material, the source material, because that God he has none of the triomnies, right? He's not all knowing. That guy, he doesn't know that the moon isn't another source of light, right? He doesn't know that a woman's hymen doesn't necessarily break upon first intercourse. There's so much stuff he's stupid about, and like epically stupid. Like the earth is not a flat, you know round thing, and there's no
Uh-oh, we're gonna get the
firmament.
flat earth comments
Oh,
now.
I know,
Here
I
we
know.
go.
There's so much he doesn't know. Clearly, he doesn't have all power, because he can't beat the iron chariots. And as I say I have Mr. Deity in an episode saying, what does he say? He says, "Well, it doesn't mean all powerful. I mean, I can't, I can't beat the iron chariots or grow back the limbs." Um, and then he's clearly not all loving. I mean, if you have to get rid of one omni, it's clearly the all loving part. There's no all loving anywhere in that book. It's just horror after horror after horror. So I play him that way. He's just a guy with a lot of power, not all power, who doesn't really necessarily consider the sentient beings that he's created. He has his own agenda, and that's all he really cares about, and making it happen.
Well,
And I'm sorry, my dog's distracting me. Sorry.
oh no, that's all
Go ahead.
good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, dogs are always welcome on the show. I was just gonna say, now that we've built him up as such a great guy, and I know we're all really excited to meet him. Could we meet Mr. Deity?
Sure, sure. Let's see. I can channel him right now. Okay, there we go.
Oh
Hi.
wow,
Yeah,
wow. Okay, you look really similar.
he's a good looking guy. I modeled myself after him. So
That's what I hear.
yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully, I mean, hopefully the introduction that we gave was sufficient. We didn't like sing your praises or anything as you came in. Is that okay? Are
Very
we going to
few
be
people do anymore.
smoted,
So yeah.
smoten,
No,
smolted?
no
Uh,
smoting. No smoting
no
today.
smoting. What is the
Yeah, no, I
past tense of smite? I feel like you would know.
smoted. I think smoted.
Smoted.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
smoted. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we use up here. Anyway.
Okay. Okay. Good. We definitely didn't want to get
Yeah.
smoted. I'm glad to hear we're safe. Well, we did have that concern in one of the poll questions too, that people might get smoted. So I'm glad that that didn't happen.
Yeah,
So,
no
so
one's gonna
to
get smoted.
so to be clear, Mr. Deity, your resemblance to Brian Keith Dalton, or is it that he resembles you? And is this something about made in his image? I'm confused about this.
No, I was just looking for someone who was really sexy and looked really intelligent and everything. And then I thought, I like this guy. I'm gonna go with this look. I really like this look.
And you fed him all the information for the episodes to reflect you, I guess.
Exactly. There's actually a long backstory about how he found the Mr. Deity diaries that
Oh, do tell, do tell.
I've never allowed him to publish. It's a long story. It's very Dead Sea Scrollsy, but with some kind of James Bond-esque kind of stuff behind it. People don't know things about Mr. Dalton, about who he worked for, if you know what I mean. Okay, we got
Ooh.
to keep this on the low down or the slow
So
down, either one. But
Brian was disparaging your abilities to some degree, especially saying that you're not tri-omni. So what do you say about that?
well, I'm uh I'm not into the omnis. A lot of gods are into the omnis. They want to be all this and they want to be all that. I try to stay humble. I don't want to. I'm not one of those guys who has to be in the limelight all the time. I know that my people have made it look that way, but that's a total
Yeah, wait. There's the
misrepresentation.
first commandment they wrote down there is yeah.
Have
It,
no
it,
other god before me,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah, then
Right.
worship you on the Sabbath. It's not like, don't own people as property and, women should be treated equally to men. No, it's just all about you. It was like three or four of them were about you, if I remember.
Well, it was different times. You got everything has to be taken in context, right? You're obviously, Rob, you're taking that out of context.
Mm-mm.
So
I
if
do
you
that.
if
I
you
tend to do that.
use and if you know the Hebrew, the original Hebrew, which I don't anymore because I turned off my all knowingness, but if you know the original Hebrew and you try to make everything work really hard, you'll see that that's not the case.
So talk a little bit about that. I remember last time you told us about why you turn off your all-knowingness, and it was a little bit shocking.
Well, it's a lot of it is just about all the masturbation. Um, that was just it was just never ending. I mean, imagine having to see that night and day, night and day, night and day. It's just and people look their worst when they make their O face. So it's just not it's not something you want to be seeing all the time. You got to shut it down. But the other thing is, I didn't like the fact that it ruined the endings of M. Night Shyamalan movies, even the good one, and birthday parties were like, people
No
like to
surprises.
surprise me.
No
People want to
surprises.
surprise me, and I already know everything they're doing. I know all the gifts. It's terrible to be sitting there and having to. You open a gift and you have to look surprised and happy when it's a crap gift. To be honest, so there's so many reasons not to go with all knowing.
So
Plus,
so
nothing really happens truly when you're all knowing because you just know everything already. There's no sequence of events. It's all right here and it's just overwhelming. Who wants that?
So how about like how do you receive prayers if you're not all knowing?
Well, I don't. I don't.
Okay.
They
I
go
always
directly
suspected that.
they go directly to voicemail. I'll listen every now and then for like, if I'm bored, if there's nothing on Netflix or something like that, I'll listen to a few of them. They're usually kind of heartbreaking because they're desperate pleas, and I'm not going to do anything, right? I got a plan and I'm sticking to it. So it's not like you can pray to me and I'm going to go, "Oh, gee, Bobby needs this to happen. That doesn't fit in with my plan, but I'll do that anyway." So, I mean, there's just no point. It's silly, but I guess it makes people feel better. So, okay, whatever.
I feel like the
Oh,
instructions are a little bit confusing though, because I think I remember reading about how, God will answer all prayers and things like that. And if
if
two
two
or
or
more
more gather
people
in my
are
name and ask
gathered,
for
yeah,
Yeah,
something, then
yeah.
yeah. What about
Jesus
that?
totally screwed me on that one. Jesus, that's all
Oh,
Jesus. I never
oh.
said anything about that. He goes down. He wants to be the big man. He wants to say, "Hey, I can help everybody. Look at me. I can walk on water. I can turn water into wine. Look at me. I'll raise the dead. I'll help you out. Just give me a call." Well, he's not the one taking the calls, right? He's off somewhere. I don't think I don't know if people know this, but when he rose up, when he ascended,
Yeah.
I think there's a Mr. Deity episode called Mr. Deity and the Ascension where he has to call Mary Magdalene and tell her that when he rose up, he died again because we're not big on science here. So we didn't understand that when he rose up, at a certain point, the air would be too thin
oh my
and
God. He's
and
suffocating.
he would either suffocate or he might have frozen. We're not sure. It could be that once he got out of the atmosphere, the radiation did him in like in a
Oh, the
second.
Van Allen belt. Yeah, if you stay too long in the Van Allen belt, that's
But
not good.
he just went poof. He might have just lit up, which
Mm.
by the way is incredibly ironic. And so we only had the budget for the one resurrection, right? And plus, that was a good situation. I mean, he'd only been dead for a few days. There was a body there to work with, right? The rigor and the mortis had neither of them had set in, and so our science guys worked that one out and got him up and out. But then what does he do? He goes flying up into where. I don't know
Well,
why he didn't just stay there and fix everything that I messed up, or that I'm sorry that he messed up. He messed up. I'm going to blame
yeah,
Jesus
I'm
for
still
that.
confused about that whole thing. Him being you, or is he your son, or you one?
Yeah, we couldn't figure it out either. We couldn't figure it out either. We spent days trying to figure out this whole Trinity thing, and I think we just finally realized that maybe it's just a concession to monotheism. If I remember correctly, there's another Mr. Deity and the identity crisis. I think we talked about that. I think yeah, we both figured out it's just a concession so that we can appear to be monotheists still, which is important. People care about
Um,
that kind of thing, so I'm not knocking it, you know. But we couldn't figure it out. It just makes no sense whatsoever.
I have another question about the ascension. So there's talk in the Old Testament, at least, of a firmament, which the flat earthers relate to a dome over the flat plate. So did he
Right,
have to get through the
right.
firmament? How'd that work?
We had the firmament early on because we weren't done building the rest of the stuff out there in the what. So we had to have that. Um, I think we had it until just little after Jesus ascended. He did have to go through the firmament, but he had the keys to there was a door, a trap door in the firmament. He had the keys to go through there. He had the whole keys to the kingdom. So
Sure.
yeah, he just I can't remember if there's a I think there's a think there was some kind of camera too that just automatically, if you get up there, it just automatically opened the doors. It's like when you go to the grocery
A
store.
motion sensor. Motion sensor. Yeah, cool.
Yes, yeah, that kind of thing.
But so then you remove the firmament. So flat earthers are wrong because they say it's still there, and NASA found it in 1956 when it sent up missiles and they got destroyed on the firmament, and that's why we can't get into orbit. So
No, I have it in my closet. Yeah, no, it's in my closet right now, along with the singularity. We kept the singularity too because we thought we might need that at some point
where
in the
did you get
future.
the singularity from?
I don't even remember. But I still have leftover dark matter because we couldn't afford like a whole universe of regular matter. That's crazy expensive, right? I mean, people don't realize
So it's mostly dark matter and dark energy,
it's
as science
mostly dark
described it.
matter.
So
Yeah,
what is that? All right, please. What is dark matter and dark energy then?
I have no idea. But Timmy recommended that we use the dark matter. So we went to the dark matter showroom. I don't know if you knew about that. We went to the dark matter showroom. You can't see anything in there. We bumped into Allah. Jesus and Allah got into it. A
Oh,
little pissing contest. They got into it. We negotiated. We didn't. It's not that we just needed the dark matter. What we needed is some kind of way to make the explosion really really big. So we negotiated with Allah. He allowed us to use the anger of his followers to enhance the explosion.
oh,
And for that, I gave him 72 virgins. I just want to
oh.
let you know, though. They were all nuns. So the joke was on him. Yeah.
Oof. So you
Yeah.
mentioned last time you really liked explosions, and I was a little, I was a little upset when you revealed that the Cretaceous extinction was like just a fun day.
It was amazing. It was so beautiful. I mean, if you could have seen it, you would have been so impressed. A lot of death and destruction. Um, but I've never had a problem with that. So, beauty, aesthetics is everything to me, really, when it comes right down to it. That's the most important thing. You people don't matter. The other creatures, they don't
Yeah, yeah,
matter.
you've mentioned this before too, and this is like really perplexing because according to the Bible at least, we're like the apex of your creation, and you said something about us just being like an
Well,
afterthought.
yeah, no, that's so silly. That's so silly. I've got a species coming up in like 3 billion years. That's the whole end point of everything. You guys are going to be long gone. These people are going to be amazing, absolutely amazing. They're never gonna do the kind of crap that you guys do. I mean, you elected a felon. What the hell? I mean, nobody. They're never
No,
gonna
no,
do
wait a minute.
anything
My
like that.
my cousins are all fundamentalist evangelical Christians, and the day of the election, they told me you put him in charge.
No, no,
They
oh,
did.
that's
They
so
did.
silly. I
That's
don't.
what they
I
said.
don't do. I don't do the politics thing. I don't do the sports thing. Nothing that you think I'm doing for you people is being done by me. Trust me, it's just dumb, stupid luck. So, pray to Vishnu for that kind of thing. I'm not interested.
Oh, so that's another interesting point. You mentioned Allah and Vishnu, and previously you
Mhm.
mentioned Zeus. So all these
Yep.
other guys are real.
Yes, they're part of the divine council. You've never heard of the divine
So
council?
tell us
Come
about
on.
that. And Q is the continuum is real too.
Who's in there? Yes, they're all pricks. They're nowhere near as good as me. That's why I said, focus, focus. Okay, focus. I mean, because they really don't care about you. I mean, who was it that let Ganesha get his tusks cut off? That was
Oh,
Shiva,
God.
right? Shiva let Ganesha get his tusk cut off because because Vishnu gave Parashurama that sword, and Ganesha didn't want to make his dad look bad. That's crappy stuff. You don't do that kind of thing. I mean,
Oh,
I killed my son. I had my son killed, but we didn't really. That was just we decided not to at the last minute. We went with the whole mythical thing. So
wait. That's confusing. You said that he ascended to the like what? Now it's a myth?
yeah,
What?
well, we decided at the end we didn't need to actually kill him. He went down, and then we popped him out that night before the Garden of Gethsemane is right up to the point where he's about to bleed blood. Is it bleed blood? Sweat blood. No, you bleed blood. That makes sense too. You can bleed blood, right? You can bleed blood and then you can sweat blood. But he was sweating blood. We took him out before the sweating blood because that was just going to be a filthy mess.
So
And
Jesse
we
must have been
couldn't,
very, very relieved then, because
yeah, we couldn't,
yeah.
we were going to let him do that part. He was willing to do it, but we couldn't figure out how to get the blood stains out. So we cut that. And from that point on, it's all AI from that point on. It's all a visual trick.
So is the Shroud
So
of Turin AI?
no, we have nothing to do with that. I don't know. I don't know who I that's some crap art. You know, when I said aesthetics is everything, please come on. Come on, really? You think he looked like that? You've seen him. He's
Uh,
gorgeous. He doesn't look like the Shroud. Please.
oh man. Okay,
So
so
upsetting.
back to the subject one more time of the other gods.
Yeah,
You mentioned that you play golf with Zeus. So how do you
I
think
do.
Jeff Goldblum is portraying him in that series Chaos?
I haven't seen it, but
Oh,
I love Jeff. I love Jeff. I've been to his show, you know, where he plays at the he plays at that little joint in LA, and I go see him every now and then. He's a sweet kid. I love him.
wait, what does he play?
He plays piano. He's a great jazz pianist. I think he does a little singing. Usually has a singer there, though. He doesn't sing hardly anything. But he's a fun guy. I love him. And he warned them about the dinosaurs, did he not? Huh?
Yeah, light
Yeah,
finds a way.
yeah. Good guy. Good guy.
Oh, so tell me about dinosaurs. So, some Christians believe that the bones were put there by you to trick them. Others believe Satan put them there, and there's others. Like Ken Ham has them on the ark, and for some reason they don't get off the ark in the ark encounter. So I don't. What's the truth about the dinosaurs?
Well, the thing is, we kind of confused everyone because when we went rogue, there was an option for us to go with the 6-day model of the universe, but that could only happen if the conglomerate stayed on vacation. There was a vacation period where they all went on vacation. Somehow they got word of us doing this rogue universe and tried to clap down on us, and we had to break out the singularity and go naturalistic on the whole thing. So we didn't do the 6-day model. That's what confuses everybody, though, because Larry left parts of it in the book, and then it went to press, and we weren't going to reprint because it's expensive and we
Wait,
don't
wait,
have
wait.
the
So
funds.
so Larry wrote the book?
No, we all worked on it together, but there were all kinds of little things that got messed up. You know, I talked about homosexuality being an abomination, and what we were talking about is how during Obama's term, um, the gays and lesbians were going to be allowed to marry, and it would become an abomination, and
Oh,
that
now
got
that makes
written
sense.
down wrong, and that turned into a whole nightmare. Poor these poor people suffered for thousands of years because of a
Because of
stupid
a
typo.
typo.
And he didn't check. You know, Larry does everything half-assed, so he didn't check. The book went out. Things happen. You know, I'm not
Did Lucy
perfect.
have any impact, any part to play in this at all?
Lucy tried. Yeah, she tried to make suggestions, but you know, I mean, come on, she's a chick. You know, we don't. I mean, she's a nice lady. I love her to death. But what does Paul say? You gotta keep quiet. You don't have you don't have authority here. You gotta just
But
hush it, hush it, hush it.
yet the Bible says that she has authority here, right? That she's in
She has
control.
authority here. Yeah, yeah, and she does some tremendous work with Republicans. But I think I think for the most part, she's kind of busy herself. You know, she's got it. She's running the Hell Project down there. Who did she just get? She just got someone recently. She was telling me about. I can't think of who it was. Some minister or something like that. I can't remember. He's down there. She got Falwell. Oh, Dobson. Dobson's down there. She's got him in the catheter room. Uh, that's not going to be fun for him. That's going to be a long, slow journey into night. Yeah,
So
poor
this
guy.
sounds like. Are you familiar with the series The Good Place?
I have heard of it. I have seen little
Um,
bits of it.
yeah, they talk a lot about the tortures that happened in the bad place, and
Yeah,
I think they have mentioned a catheter room and things like that.
yeah.
Bees up the butthole, and yes.
You got to hand it to Danson. He just keeps pumping them out. So good for him. I still prefer Sam Malone, but that's my own. That's my own stuff.
And Diane Chambers.
Yes, yes, yes. You had
So
you said you were going to ask me about what I might change, what I regret. Do I have any regrets? Did I hear?
yeah, so that was in the poll. Yeah, you want to go to the poll
Yeah.
questions, Kara? We can do that later. What do you think?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can do
whatever
that.
you want to do.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hear what people voted for that, and then you can tell us which ones you agree with. Um, so let's see. First of all, hopefully this one isn't too touchy of a subject, but you did
Nope,
promise no
nope,
smiting.
nope.
So
Yeah, no smiting. No,
okay,
boy.
so the first question that we asked was, is Jesus a moral monster? Or Jesse, in this case. And so
Right,
there were 28% of people in our audience who said yes.
right.
16% said no. 47% are not sure, and there was that 9% that were worried about smiting, so they
Yeah,
did not
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
But now we know they're safe from that, right?
See, this is the kind of thing that really, really upsets me, because
Uh-oh.
I get dumped on all the time for the stuff that I said, the stuff I allowed, the stuff I did. But if you know anything about that whole Trinity thing, Jesus was right there. He was right there with me on all of it. But does he get the blame? No. Oh, they love him because he
Doesn't he
said,
get a
"Oh,
pass though for saying, love your neighbor as you love yourself? Or
I said love your neighbor as yourself in the Old Testament. That was mine. He stole that from me. He's such a schmuck. And then the stuff that he says, everybody loves. Everybody loves him. I'm the dick. Okay, yeah, right. Same person, people. What a bunch of idiots. Do you see why this is not my species? Huh? You
sorry,
get it?
sorry.
No offense to you
Oh,
guys personally.
wait, what's your favorite species? It's not
It's
humans.
coming. It's still 3 billion years in the
Oh,
making.
that's right. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's
But
fair.
you did say, to make us feel a little better, you said there was a species worse than us in the past in a different galaxy because they talked in riddles or something like that. I
I
recall that.
think so. Yeah, something that I don't remember. I don't
Yeah.
keep my
So there have
alarms
been
turned on.
other
So
intelligent species that you despise more than us.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. Thank you.
By the way, I love no species more than the doggies on your planet. They're amazing. They're the best.
No
We can
argument
agree
there.
with that. I
Heaven
think we
is
can get
filled
behind
with
that.
doggies. Just so you know,
So do they all go to heaven?
they all go to heaven. Yes,
Okay.
because they're all the
Okay.
bestest doggies ever in all the history of all the land. People
All
don't
right.
know that, but that's the case.
So Disney
I,
got one movie title right.
Yes.
yeah.
Was that Disney?
All
I
dogs
feel
go to
like that
heaven?
was another.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, okay.
I don't
Good for
know.
them. Good for
Yeah.
them.
Well,
Boy, that's a
okay.
weird hand motion you were making there, Rob. But go ahead. Oh, it's a kitty.
Oh, it's
Okay.
a cat.
That makes so much more sense
Kitties
now.
go to
Yeah.
heaven? Do kitties go to heaven too?
Kitties go to heaven too. Yes. Kitties are amazing
Oh,
too.
thank
They're a
Oh,
close
good.
second. They're a close second.
Okay. We'll accept that.
But they knock
But
over my
not all
drinks all the time.
animals? Oh, they
Oh,
do. They do that on purpose.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Are,
it's filled with animals. Animals just
okay.
automatically go because they don't
Oh,
they
how do
didn't
they get along with each other
participate. They
though?
didn't eat no
Because
fruit.
yeah, so like what
Well,
happened?
I make the lamb lie down. I make the lamb lie down with the lion, which, by the way,
Oh.
you have to change their nature before you do that. I didn't understand that in rehearsal, and Larry took it really badly.
Mm, mm,
It was a brutal mauling,
mm.
but he was okay. I had Jesus heal him. Well, it wasn't overnight. I think Jesus was being a prick about it. It took him a few days, but yeah, you got to watch it when you're getting those creatures together.
So now
Risky.
I have to ask what my pandemic mind about where do we draw the line regarding animals? I mean, are worms, bacteria, like that's technically like what are we talking about? Do
I
they go
love
to
them
heaven?
all. I love them all. Yeah, they're all good. They're all good. You can do
Parasite?
stuff with them. Yeah,
Parasites?
parasites. Yeah, parasites. You just don't let them para anymore. You just you just uh you just have them dial it back. You find a nice place to store them, to put them, and then you can put them in hibernation. And they're, if you need them, you got them, right? You don't want to get rid of them. You
How
never know
about
what
all
you're
the
gonna need.
aquatic species, the giant whales and things like that? And giant,
Yeah, we got plenty of room up here. Yeah, we got tons of
Wait a
room.
minute, wait a minute. So all of the species go to heaven except it's just humans that go to hell? That doesn't seem fair.
Mosquitoes go to hell too.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
just they populate the whole thing.
yeah.
That's
I don't know
that's what
how
it
they
is. You're
got
just covered in
who.
mosquitoes.
I don't know what natural selection was thinking with that
Yeah,
one.
we
Just
did have a
horrifying.
question about this. Like how did they even get on the ark? Did you put them on there? Did you
The
invite
arc
them?
is a bullshit story. That's come on, come on. I mean, how stupid do you have to be to buy that one? And plus, it's a ripoff. It's a ripoff of that other flood story. What is it called? The not Gilgamesh, but
Gilgamesh?
no,
Gilgamesh?
is it Gilgamesh? I thought it was somebody else. It might be Gilgamesh. Yeah.
There was a
Um,
Gilgamesh related flood
yeah.
story.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just people make stuff up. Who? What? I really am gonna kill everybody except for 8 people, and those 8 people weren't spectacular. Come on. If you knew them, you would be like, "Oh, we got a better set of 8 people."
Kind of
If you're
reminds
gonna
me
restart the
of
species.
the slightly latter story, Sodom and Gomorrah, where Lot is supposedly your favorite guy, and he just sends his virgin daughters out to be raped by the mob to save your angels.
Well, you got to protect the angels, right? I mean, that just goes without saying.
But they're
And
supernatural beings. Couldn't they have like fended for themselves and just vanished or something?
supernatural and super sexy. Okay, they can't dial that back. They cannot dial that shit back. So you got to look out for them first. And the daughters are property, right? That's the way we looked at it. They're just property. Here, give them a cigarette or something. That's what it was like. It was just hand them a cigarette or something. They'll feel better. But that Lot's
Oh.
wife, oh boy, that's a woman who would not, take orders. You couldn't do anything with that woman. But
Oh,
I
the
did
one you
I
turned to
didn't
salt. The
I
salt.
didn't
Okay.
turn her to Salto out of spite. We were simply out of salt. I need to clarify that. Because like if you're making something and you don't have enough salt, because I'm a salt guy, I'm also a sweets guy. I like them both. But if you don't have enough salt, it just makes everything miserable. Why are you eating what you're even eating? It doesn't have any taste. And back in that day, people didn't know about the spices yet, right? I hadn't told them about the spices yet. So you gotta do something. And salt was, salt's easy to get. So not so easy to get, but I can get it because I can turn people into salt. So there you go.
Wow. Well, hope it
Yeah.
was worth it.
Bit of
Yeah.
smiting there.
Spread the news. Spread the
Yeah.
news.
Yeah. So is yeah, so many follow-up questions, but okay, well, we've got more questions in the poll. Maybe you can shed some more light on some of this stuff now that I mean you're telling us all the behind the scenes stuff. So we were wondering earlier about this whole conversation between the apostle Paul and his conversation with Jesus. We asked
Mhm.
people what they thought happened, and nobody thought that he actually talks to Jesus. About 45% of people thought he made that whole thing up. 16% thought he was on a mushroom trip, and 32% thought it might have been a hallucination from a concussion after falling down. And 6% of people don't think it was any of those. Can you tell us what happened? Was there a conversation? I believe was this the Damascus Road situation we're talking about here, Rob?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is another time where I have to hand it to your species a little bit because the 45% who said it's all made up nailed it. They just completely nailed it. It
Hey.
was a
Hey.
it was a con by Paul. If you notice, he's screwed with everything Jesus said. I mean, Jesus wanted people to keep following the law, and he gets rid of that. Jesus couldn't possibly have gone down and seen him again because remember he ascended and burned up. So or frozen up. I'm not sure whether he froze or we still don't know. We got people
And
working
isn't
on it.
Paul
Though
the
I
one
got
who
Bob
said,
from down in the mailroom. He's working on it.
isn't Paul the one who said that women need to keep quiet also? Jesus
He
never said.
is. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
And Jesus never would have said that because he loves the ladies. Everybody
Mm,
knows that.
Mm.
fair.
And by ladies, I
Okay.
mean the 12 as well. So just to be clear.
Love it. Okay, so this was the question that we wanted to ask you about, and we asked everybody. We polled them before you got here. I don't know if you know that or not, if you had the all knowingness turned off yet or not, but we did ask people before you were here if they could ask God to redo something, what would it be? And I'll tell you some of the choices if you promise not to
Okay.
smite anybody.
I
Um,
won't smite. No smiting. I've
okay,
already,
okay,
my word
and
is
we
my bond sometimes.
sometimes that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
and we won't know who said it. So if we don't know, then you can't know, I guess. So that's good. So some people had some I think some pretty good recommendations. They said, maybe you could have left out some things like incurable illnesses. Also, some people thought that bumblebees should not look so similar to the scary bees and the hornets and the wasps. What's the deal with that?
Probably are you asking me what I would have done differently?
Yeah, because we've got a whole
Okay.
gamut. Yeah.
So first is no Celine Dion.
Oh,
That's
Celine
obvious.
again.
Yeah, no
Oh,
Celine Dion. I would
oh.
have picked two different people. If I'd kept my all knowingness on, I would have picked two different people to put in the garden. Right? How did I know that these knuckleheads are going to listen to a serpent over me? I mean, come on, look at me. I'm a good looking guy. I got charisma. I got like serial killer level charisma, right? I mean, I've been told that. So
But was the
then this
serpent
serpent comes
lying?
along. Not totally, but that's neither here nor there. They just
Okay.
should not have. I mean, we were trying to figure out how to get them to do the nasty, right, without really understanding that they were naked and stuff. That was a problem we were working on, but we had time, right? We have all the time in the universe, so we could have worked that out. We could have figured that out somehow. Maybe, I don't know, a little some prep or something like that. I hear they do that in those films that they make out in the valley. So we could have figured something out with regard to that, but I would have picked two different people and we wouldn't have had this mess at all. We could have just had populations of people living in a wondrous paradise where nobody died, nobody, none of that. So that would have been my thing. And don't try to play the continuity thing where I just said, oh, you went with the organic model and there was no people and trees, because continuity is not going to work with me, buddy. Just so you know, never
Well,
has.
that's good to know. Um, okay. Okay. Well, we do have one final question, and we hope that it's not the final question. This is the final question that we polled people about. We have a whole list of questions from people. And we're loving the doggo in the background.
I I am so sorry. I might have to take him out real quick. He's really coming at me. Can you see
Well,
him tearing up his? He's trying to tear up his pillow.
oh
Crazy Gray.
no, we
Crazy
can see
Gray.
that. I mean, if you need to do that,
Go for
we
it.
won't be able to stop you as we are
Well,
also not
let's do
omnipotent.
this one, and I can take
Or
him for a little thing, and
okay.
maybe come back.
Okay, so we asked another question, which was, besides Mr. Deity. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave that first part out. Pay no attention to the first part of this question. Which fictional god character do you think did it best? And I'll tell you what our answer choices were here.
Okay.
We had, let's see, our most popular answer that we got from our audience, other than someone who was not listed, so they'll have to tell us in the chat. The most popular one at 21% was Alanis Morissette in Dogma. People really thought that was a good representation of God. What do you think about that?
Alanis was spectacular. A lot of people don't know this about Alanis, but she is a highly sensitive person, just like me, and so we have that in common. I have to say though, I love dark matter 2525. So I ultimately I have to go with dark matter because that's some
Okay.
amazing stuff, and he gets a lot of stuff right that I haven't necessarily revealed. Somehow he's I don't know if he has a source. I'll bet it's Lucy. I'll bet it's Lucy. She's probably, slipping him a little story here and there, and then he
Uh-huh.
goes and makes these great cartoons. But yeah,
Well,
that's who I'd probably go with him. Jesus is okay. He's just all right with me though. So
Fair enough.
I
What
think
yeah,
it was. It's interesting that just as many people put down Jesus as Q in Star Trek for fictional content.
yeah.
nice,
What
nice.
do you think about Q in Star Trek? Does he count as a god character?
Sure, sure.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
all basically on the same level. It's unless you're at the even the peak people on the conglomerate don't have that much more power than me. I'm obviously, I mean, they kept me from a creation event, so that was not cool. But yeah,
Fair.
I mean, we're all basically on the same level.
Yeah, Q
Okay.
had the same problem with the continuum. They could control him in some ways, like they
Exactly.
exiled him and made him
Exactly.
human in one series. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So he knows what I'm talking about.
Fair.
Not cool.
Okay.
Not cool.
Well, okay, that was all for our poll questions. Now we do have a bunch of audience questions for you, but I know the real character in charge needs your attention. Do you need to take the dog out?
Well, as you can see, he's being kind of cool and mellow right now. This
Oh
is
my
how
goodness. Yes.
greyhounds,
Oh,
yes, this is how they do their
Legs
thing.
everywhere.
Yes, yes, it's
Amazing.
hysterical. Let's try to hit some of these just real quick out of the park. Let's see what we can do.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so we've got a lot of questions. Rob, I don't know if we're done with the pre-existing questions either, but we've got some audience questions too. So let's
Oh, that's a
just
Mormon thing,
jump in.
pre-existence. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, well, okay, we do have a Mormon question here. Maybe we should go with that. Um,
Okay.
someone is wondering about the
Mormon handsome.
Mormon underwear. Did you invent that? What is the story? Why? Why?
I think Joe stole that from somebody. I don't know if it was the Masons or whomever, but no, I had nothing to do with that. I fly free, so I don't know who was behind that. And
TMI, TMI, Mr. D.
Jesus was never wearing anything under the whatever they called that thing. I don't know,
Oh,
muumuu. Was it a muumuu? I don't remember what they called it back in the day, but he was never wearing anything under there, which was tough because
really?
times were harsh back then, you know, and there was no toilet paper, so things got ugly
Ooh,
quick. Yeah,
ooh, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
He made
mm.
that face a lot too.
So many questions.
Yeah, so did
Fair.
Peter and John. And oh my goodness, he's yelling at me now.
Oh boy.
Roar. Yes, roar.
So
Okay,
you
I
speak
know.
dog.
I know. Yes, I do. Yes. Hello, handsome. Hello, sweet boy. Can you give me just a minute? Just a minute.
Sure.
There you go. No, I meant him.
All right.
Hit me with the
Oh, all
next
right.
question.
Well,
Hit
let's
me.
go. Okay, Rob, what do we got?
Oh my, there's so many good ones. Okay, well, yeah. Who
Ha!
created you, Mr. Deity?
Null and void, my parents. Um,
So you
but
did
for all I
you did
know,
you did mention that, but like, is
yeah,
it was that a normal birth, or was this something like they rub two sticks together and out you
I
pop?
didn't ask. I didn't ask questions. But apparently they've been around forever, and somehow I've been around forever. It doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't have to.
Okay, well,
Okay.
somebody connected to that asks what were your parents' pronouns?
Uh, that's a good question. I don't honestly know. I don't honestly know. Oh my goodness.
This is why
He's
it's a good
really
idea to ask or
he
tell
is
people your
really yelling
pronouns.
at me now.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He
Can you
is
guys hear it?
looking very fancy.
You
Uh,
guys can't hear it, can you? Because of the noise
no, we can't, but we can
cancellation.
see him like spread out on the ground.
Yeah. He's okay. Let's do another one real quick while he's chilling.
Okay. I'm gonna ask this one that just came up in the chat because it makes me laugh. We've talked about this before on here about some of the representations of Jesus. He's very fit looking, especially in the
Yes.
kind of like not very many clothes on representations. And we have often wondered, and maybe you can tell us, did Jesus do CrossFit?
He didn't do CrossFit, but he was into, back in the day, it was just lifting a lot of rocks. He was lifting a lot of rocks. At the end, he got to the point where he could bench Peter. It was impressive because he was a small guy, but he was very stocky, and he was pretty muscular too because he was out fishing a lot back in the day. And you're hauling in those nets with a lot of fish. You can put on some pretty good muscle. I think it was like 220, 5'3", so really stocky, almost very similar to the Neanderthals,
Oh,
in terms
yeah,
of body composition and everything. Um, Slightly bigger brain, but
fair.
yeah, Jesus would bench him. Um, I think he would do squats with him on his back, which was impressive. So Jesus really had a nice, when he was down there. He worked. You got to hand it to him. He was very physically in charge at all times.
Yeah, no, we noticed that. We noticed that in the representations. So I'm glad to know that those were uh apparently somewhat accurate.
All right, can I rejoin you guys in just a few minutes?
Yes, absolutely. We'll
He's
talk
he's
amongst
ready.
ourselves.
He's
Yeah,
ready
go
to
for it.
have an accident. I can tell.
Yeah, don't have any
All
accidents.
right,
We will
I'll mute
amuse
myself. Can I
ourselves.
mute myself?
Yes, you can do anything you want. Okay. I am so glad that we got to the bottom of the Jesus doing CrossFit question, because that has come up multiple times on this program
Yes, it
about
has.
CrossFit Jesus, and looking very 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 much like he's been going to the gym a lot. So I'm glad we found out about what was going on there.
Also looking very European, which always like actually Scandinavian of some,
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the bottom of that part yet. We may need to have a follow-up about that. We've got quite a few questions to follow up on when we get Mr. Deity back. And I'm also really encouraged to know that it seems like actually dogs are in charge in heaven, if this is what's going on right now. Like
We
they
do have
dictate
an
the schedule.
interesting question about does doggy heaven overlap with kitty hell?
Oh,
Need to
what
think
is
about that.
kitty hell? I need to know
Yeah,
more
I don't
about
think I
this.
don't think he said there was a hell for any other creature except for humans. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Yeah, that may not be a thing. Apparently not. And I feel kind of attacked now that this was the first time. I don't think he mentioned it last time we talked with him. This was the first time I learned that only humans are in hell. All of the other animals, and even some of the parasites and bacteria and things, are also in heaven.
that
That
is
doesn't
really
seem
odd.
fair.
You'd think he'd put the bacteria and the parasites in hell with the humans to continue to torture us like they're on Earth
Yeah.
with us. Like that's weird.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just us and the mosquitoes,
there are a few
apparently.
things that are on this planet that don't make sense. Just a few.
No,
And
no, surely
therefore
not.
that seems to be continuing in this proposed afterlife model. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of follow-up questions. I now am really glad to know that it maybe wasn't intentional. A lot of these problems may have just been due to the budgeting issues. So that
Yeah,
makes a
that's
lot more
very
sense to me.
confusing too, because right, my understanding is he had this plan. He was going to do in reality the creation in 6 days and do the magic to do all those things. And then they didn't have the budget for that, so they had to do this I think what he called organic creation, where he just let the universe happen by scientific natural methods, right? But then there are other things that he talks about, like it. I'm very confused still.
I
After
am too.
I'm very confused.
Yep, we've got more questions for when he comes back. And keep putting them in the chat. We may not get through all of them, but y'all give us your questions. This is your chance to ask. And we've got quite a few more. I want to find out about the burnt offerings. too, when he comes
Yes.
back.
Why the burnt? Right, right.
Why the burnt offerings?
Oh,
Yeah.
Susan put in the chat. That's correct. She reminded us that he said mosquitoes are in hell, so that's to continue to
Yes,
torture humans. Yes. Okay.
that's right. Just mosquitoes. But, mosquitoes breed in the stagnant water, and I feel like there's other organisms that are
And
involved in that.
also, is there static water in hell when it's basically burning fire all the time? Why would there be
Right.
water?
How does
Uh,
that work?
I have so many questions.
I have a lot of questions. It's almost like this doesn't really make sense if you take it literally. I don't know
Oh,
if
so
anyone
that's where I
else
was
has
going with the
arrived at
story.
that.
So my understanding, if I'm putting it all together, is he was going to do the magics to create in the 6 days that it says in the book, but they didn't have the funds. But they already had the story written out, right? And
Mhm.
Larry wrote most of it, and maybe Lucy had something to do with it. And then it got leaked, apparently. They didn't have the budget to change it. So that explains the holy books.
Oh, this is like what happened with the third Aliens movie, where
What?
yeah, Alien 3. They had already built the set and everything. When they finally got the director, it was who was the director? It was David Fincher, was the director of that one, who's like a great director, but he kind of inherited the set already pre-built for that, and some of the story, and had to just kind of make it work. And that's according to some sources why it kind of parts of it seemed kind of mishmashed together. That was the one where they kind of seemed like monks or something. It did have religious undertones to it. That's why I brought it up. It's not because I'm a super nerd and just started talking about
I
aliens for no
recall
reason. So I
hating
would never
hating
do.
that because Sigourney Weaver, Ridley spent the entire Aliens, the second movie, protecting Newt, and then the
Yeah,
first thing that happens in the third movie is she's dead.
yeah. I did not like that either. Uh,
Despised that. So now I can never watch two and enjoy it anymore because she's what's the point? She's going to die immediately after this movie. I thought.
I know that bothers me too. So what I do is I imagine in my head that the third movie didn't happen,
Yeah,
and it
yeah, yeah,
ends at the second one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, that's where we're going. That's how we solve that problem. Also, that reminds me, on a side tangent here, this is more like a hangout topic, but we're kind of hanging out for the moment. Have you been watching Alien Earth?
Not yet. No spoilers. It's on my list.
Okay. I know it was on my list too, and I hadn't gotten around to it, but
Mm.
okay, no spoilers. I won't say any spoilers, but I'll just say it's good. And
Is it a prequel from? I read a little bit about it. I think I know.
so uh, no, I'm not actually totally sure where it falls in the timeline. Someone in the chat is going to correct me because I'm sure it is at some point made clear. But it I don't even know how to describe it. So the visuals and some of the sets in the first few episodes are very reminiscent of the original Alien film. Like the ships that they're on are
Mhm,
very
mhm.
much like the original one. But I will just say without any spoilers that it has some of the elements of the newer understanding of the aliens, where there are like various different sort of varieties of them that are grown or developed. Um, so it's not but it is the original alien model where they have the ones that impregnate the face huggers and all that. They have all that. Um, so but they also have the you can accidentally get it in your you can ingest it in other ways. So without any more spoilers, I don't know what else to say about it than that, but that you will probably like it because it's good.
I watched a YouTube video which talked about, and it said it was fairly spoiler free, so I watched it, just talking about the timeline of all of the movies, the Predator movies and the Alien movies, and many of them were not where I thought they were in time. And they gave the years, which I guess it was mentioned
Oh,
somewhere on screen at the time, and I was very surprised. Yes.
wow. Okay. I never paid attention to that either, but I think it does say the year on some of them.
Yeah.
Do you recall when does the first Alien movie supposedly take place?
No, I don't recall,
Okay,
which is
I don't
why
either.
I'm awful at trivia.
Quiz.
And Susan's
You
looking
are
going,
awful at
what?
trivia.
Susan Garbick, who does a weekly trivia, and I've played for 5 years. This is why I like to
Yeah.
do categories in trivia and give the questions and torture the other people, Susan.
But you don't like to answer the trivia?
Well,
I
I like to. I'm just not very good. My memory sucks. It always has. Not because
oh that I
I've had
doubt that.
bad memory since I was a kid, and it has not gotten any.
I find that hard to believe. Oh, I'm seeing we are told to that we should watch Foundation. Wait,
Yes, I hated the first season because it is nothing like the series, which Isaac Asimov wrote, and I loved, and then I kept expecting it to be the same, and it wasn't. And then they took a break, and they came back with the second, and they said, "Okay, I just have to accept that this is a different story and take it for what it's worth." And then I started liking it more, and I watched the first one again. I said, "Okay, this is good on its own, but it's not the original story."
oh, so is it like related to the Foundation, the
They
series?
use a lot of the same names and the same planet names,
Okay.
but for one of the major characters is a clone king, the emperors of the galaxy, and that wasn't even a concept in the original one. And they're main characters in this, and what's happening with the dynasty in this, and it's like, where is this coming from? And then
Oh,
when the foundation is created, is a slightly different there, but then the characters are very different. So I don't know. But yeah,
okay.
as a
They leaned
story
into the
itself, it's doing a good job of making an interesting series. I will say that. And I have not
okay.
seen the new series season yet.
Okay. I'll check that out. I didn't actually realize about that until I saw it mentioned and I just looked it up. Looks
Ah,
like it was 2021.
Mr. Deity has reappeared.
Ooh, excellent.
How's the doggy?
Well, I wish I had made it so that dogs didn't feel the need to find just the right perfect spot to do their business. That's another thing I would
Oh,
have
that's
changed. But
probably
we went
more
with
important than not allowing for natural disasters on the planet.
yeah, yeah, I think so. I think so. By the way, I heard you commenting about Jesus in the European look, and
Yes.
Yeah.
I did want to mention that he looked just like an average Palestinian. We let him keep the face because it's so gorgeous, and we knew it would be very effective. Um, but I did see after the whole ascension thing happened, we were looking for maybe some clues of what happened to him because at first we didn't realize. We thought maybe he just took a vacation because he deserved it, right? I mean, obviously you got to give the kid a vacation at that point. And then we thought, well, maybe he's gone shopping because all of his clothes were 30 years out of date. And so we were looking through his stuff, and in his day planner, it did say get skin bleached for the paintings and the supremacy. So that's
Oh,
probably what happened is people just figured it out. He was going to do it anyway. And
this explains.
yeah.
Wow.
So one of the shows that we talked about in the poll, Dark Matter 2525, I believe, I hope I'm not misattributing this, but I believe one of the episodes was what if Jesus returned today? And the cartoon had him appearing as looking like a short Palestinian dressed in full garb and appearing at, I believe it was Newark Airport in New Jersey, saying, I have come, my kingdom come, and all the security guards just jump him.
Yeah.
And that's
He
what
lo-
happens
he
to his second coming. Yeah.
he did have to drop 9 inches for when he went down because he's much taller in up here.
Ah,
So yeah. Yeah. But he
Wow.
liked the dark skin. He did. He liked the dark skin. He said, this is a great tan look for me. It works. So anything
it's
was
like
going to work with that face. I mean, you've seen him, right? He's gorgeous. So
I've seen the paintings. I mean, I don't know. We didn't have any photos, so it's hard to say.
yeah, yeah. The photos, the paintings don't do him justice. I don't
uh,
Fair.
think.
all
Yeah.
right. So we can continue with questions from the
Sure.
audience.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So you just mentioning the sun and the tan and sunburn. So there was a question regarding the sun. How did you create light before you created the sun?
Mm.
Well, we rented an 18K from Film Tools prior so that we would have enough light to just work. Because you don't want to be in the dark when you're doing important stuff like creating a world. Um, so I think we had like 16 of those. They really put out a lot of light, but you have to get you can't just plug them into any wall socket
And
because
that must
they
have
only.
taken a lot of your budget because you said you were restricted on your budget.
Well, we had a guy at Film Tools who liked the idea and wanted to help out, so that was awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, good for him.
Okay. Okay. We've got a question here that I have wondered about for a long time, and I hope you can tell us. Um, Someone is wondering, what is it about the aroma of burnt offerings that is so pleasing to you? And I have always wondered that too. And is it like certain things that are better than others? I- How does this work?
Come on. Everybody knows the answer to this question. Everybody loves barbecue, right? Everybody loves
Huh,
barbecue. That
fair.
smell,
Okay.
add a little
Okay.
garlic, add a little garlic or something if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Okay.
delicious. And then it fills our little heaven space up there. This is back when we had the firmament. We would actually open the trap door. We would actually open the trap door so that the smells could get in. The whole place was like, oh my gosh, this is heaven. I'm like, yeah, hello, it
Yeah, it's
is.
happened.
So yeah, it's just a great smell. It's almost like toast. I don't know if you've ever made toast in the morning and then you go out the door, for instance, you forget your keys, you come back in, you're like, oh my gosh, that smell, it's heaven. It's bread. That's why Jesus went with the whole bread of life thing. Because the smell of toast. He
So,
loves
but
the smell of toast.
I have
It's
heard
just the
Christians
best.
say that you have given up on that like for burnt things when, Jesse gave himself, and that's why you don't ask for burnt offerings anymore. So what's the deal with that?
Well, we put him on the burnt toast instead. So we just kind of made that move because it's a lot easier to go that way. It's a
Oh, I
lot
didn't
less,
realize that
a lot
happened
less,
so often. Okay.
yeah, a lot less expensive too. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing we can really do anymore because what are you going to do? He's not here. He burned up. So we thought, let's try to get him out there in some way. So we had an old photo of him and we just make it appear up on toast. And sometimes we'll make it appear on the side of like a wet building or something like that.
I've actually seen it. We've been speaking about dogs a lot in this on a dog's butt once, and it was a viral thing.
Larry did that, by the way. It's a pug because Larry and I are both big pug fans. We had a pug up here, Aries. We named him after the other god Aries, um, just as a joke because we thought he's a small dog. He needs a big name, right? God of War. Um, so yeah, we put it on the bum of a pug. It looks great, by the way. It looked amazing. Arms out and everything, right? Like he's going up, and
Oh,
people understood what happened after that. They would never put him like that again. Although that's a bad look for him anyway. Arms out. Don't do it, people. Don't do it.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Goodness.
the other figure that winds up appearing apparently on these things like toast and else is Mary. I mean, or are people just seeing things?
I don't know. We don't talk um, because I called Mary Magdalene to tell her about what had happened to Jesus. She was not very happy with me. I was supposed to call his mother. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I pawned that off on Larry. So Larry had to do it. And then she was very upset at me that I hadn't called her personally. And let me tell you something, she might be full of grace, but there was none of it for me. Okay. So she is not happy with me. And I get it. I mean, I kind of raped her. But after that, I thought things were good because he was such a great kid, and I thought she'd appreciate it. But after the whole ascension thing, it just all went to hell. So we haven't talked. I don't know what she's doing. She may appear here and there. I don't know. Fine, I'm good with that. I hope she only does it to the Catholics, though.
Yeah, I think that is mostly true.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good for her. Yeah. Because no one else appreciates her.
That is quite true.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We got time for maybe a couple of more questions. Let's see if we have
Okay.
any burning questions here. Do you see any good ones, Rob?
Yes, I'd like to ask this one that someone put in the chat. Does Mr. Deity having turned off his all-knowingness mean that you no longer know what the plan is?
Well, I wrote down the plan. I just don't see all the masturbation anymore. So the plan, we wrote it down. Larry made multiple copies of it just in case, because he knows, I tend to lose things. So we wrote it down, and I can't even remember it right now. Honestly, I'm trying to pull it up. I can't. I'd have to look at my notes again. But I think it's a good plan. Lucy wasn't crazy about it, but everyone else was okay with it. So yeah, I still know what the plan is,
So,
and
so
it's
are the Christians right? Does it include that Bible book Revelation with all that stuff with the giant creature with the multiple heads and Antichrist and all that? Is that part of the plan?
that was during a period where I was really into action movies, and and I just thought we needed something big, and I was going to get Vin Diesel to play who's the Unchrist, is that his name, Unchrist?
Anti.
Antichrist, yes. I was going to get Vin Diesel to play him. He wouldn't do it for the money that we had involved. I actually think that's one of those books that we were going to cancel because we couldn't get Vin in on it, and then it went to press, and we lost track of everything at that point.
Did you
So
ask Schwarzenegger? I'm sure he would have loved to have done.
I'm not crazy about Arnold. He was up here with us for a while, but he was not good to the help. A lot of banging, and talking about your big bangs. That's and
Well,
Maria's still upset at me, and I got enough Marys, and Maria's upset at me already. I don't need more. So
well,
no
okay,
Arnold.
we've got a follow-up question about that then. Like some people have been wondering like how did the process work when you decided to go ahead and have a son, Jesus, and were you planning to share being a god with him with the whole Trinity thing, or did that happen accidentally? What was the thought process that went into all this?
That's a funny question. There wasn't a lot of thought that we put into it. We just had some ideas based on what other gods we'd heard other gods were doing. I think Zeus had this Dionysus character that had done some similar things. We'd heard of other people being born of virgins. So we tried to find a virgin. And, back in that day, you got to go young if you're going to go with the virgin. So I'm not even sure that was copacetic. But um, we were just trying to make ours look better than the other gods, and I think we succeeded. I mean, look at the results. We're killing it. We're like 20% of the population is with us, so
Yeah,
no one else has anywhere near.
worldwide, I think Christians are pretty much tied with Allah's people.
He's coming up on us. He's coming up on us. I have to admit, I think he's still a little behind. Um, But once the word gets out broadly about that Aisha girl, I think that's gonna just tank, immediately. I mean, Mary wasn't 9, right? I mean, come on.
How old was
So
she?
I think it's 13. I want to say 13. Um, Maybe 14. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to say there might be authorities
So
involved
I've
at some
actually
point.
heard Christians say that it was the Holy Ghost, that
Well,
aspect.
yeah, it was. It was. I don't get involved with
So
stuff like
that
that.
was Larry then, if I'm getting that right.
Um, well, we hired out some stuff because Larry didn't want to do it either. So I mean, Larry has his
Um,
limits, right? I mean, he's a sycophant, but
so
he's
where'd you
got.
get this guy that was okay with that?
I think Larry found him somewhere in the yellow pages. Um, I'm not sure. I might have done an internet search or something like that, looking for spirit being to impregnate young girl. I think was the ad, something like that. Um,
So many
weekends,
follow-up
weekends
questions.
off, weekends off, no windows, something like that.
Was it like a one and done thing?
It was a one and done thing, yeah. And then she's been on me ever since for the child support money, but it's not coming. I'm telling her right now. If she's watching this, not coming. You're not getting back child support either.
But what about all the tithing? Like people are sending in their money every week, right? Like isn't there
I never
money
see a
available?
dime of that.
Oh,
I have yet to see a single dime of that. These
where
people,
does it
uh,
go?
to Joel Osteen, apparently. I mean, he gets it all. That guy, I mean, he literally has more money than me. Did you know that? He has more money than me. It's ridiculous.
You know, that's
Wait
Do you
till
know
he
about
gets up
Peter?
here. And
Do
Lucy's
you know
going to
about
get
Peter
him in the
Popoff?
catheter
Do you
room.
know about Peter Popoff? Because he used to say that you were talking to him and telling him people's illnesses, and then it was his wife.
Yeah, but I have a buddy who exposed him. This Randy character
Yeah.
exposed him. It was an earpiece. The people were coming in. They were giving him all the information. His wife was upstairs with a microphone, giving him all the stuff. And boy, these people, come on, come on. I'm not helping people out. If somebody tells you that they got the power to help you out because I've given them the power, not not even close. Not even close. I'm busy. I'm a busy guy. I got things to do and I don't really care about you people. So there we go.
Well, thanks
glad
for
we
being
got that cleared
honest.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. Alert the press, right? As if you couldn't figure it out yourself. Hello? People are so slow down there. My Lord.
Yeah, I remember you
Well,
saying something last time about
myself.
lowering our IQ intentionally, so we
Oh,
wouldn't.
yeah. We had to jack it down, way down, because we kept having problems with, well, aren't they going to figure this out? Aren't they going to figure that out? Aren't they? Because we had to cut corners because we didn't have the budget. People are like, everybody's telling me, aren't they going to fix? Okay, just cut their IQ again. Like we had this whole thing where we tried to get people, because if you're going to give people free will, right? You want them to consent, right? That would be like the first thing you would do to give people free will is you bring them in, you tell them what's going to be happening if they go down there. I instantiated them for a minute. We had a little interview. I tried to get people to say, "Yeah, okay, I'm up for that. That sounds good." Not a single person did it except for this Marquis Desaad guy. I can't remember who he was, but he was willing to go down. Everybody else bailed on it, so I had to cut that portion of the free will thing, and that meant that we had to cut IQ points again. So we
And there's
just get
been
we
significant ramifications for that. This is why people believe all sorts of nonsense besides, the religious stuff, right? People believe the extraterrestrials are going to land tomorrow. I'm heard it's the day of disclosure, and they're here working with the government, and they believe in psychics and people like Peter Popoff, and they believe all these things because you lowered their IQ.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a consequence, but it's just like the fall, right? We had the fall. There were consequences to the fall. You got earthquakes and tsunamis and all kinds of horrible stuff. The animals started eating each other, which was gross. So gross. I didn't see that one coming. Boy, I should have kept my all-knowingness on for that, because that's just disgusting. So just a lot of terrible stuff happens. Once you start the ball rolling, it's almost impossible to stop. So unless I want to use my all powerfulness, and I don't like doing that. It's exhausting. I mean, have you ever tried to use your all powerfulness? I mean, it really takes it out of you. It's like a 3-day recovery period. Just
I
crazy.
don't think we have that. We don't
Really
have
Oh,
that
helpful.
feature.
oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We decided to cut that along with
Wait, did you give that to that other species, or are you going to give that to the other species that's coming along in some billions of years?
no, not all powerfulness, but we are gonna give them mostly powerfulness. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
I
a
would
whole
like
nother.
mostly powerfulness. Can we
I'll
get
bet you
that?
would. I'll bet you
Oh,
would. Not
well,
gonna
fine.
happen. Nope, saving it up for the special people.
Not even with like 10% of my income and regular prayer and supplication.
Well, I'm less interested in the prayer and supplication, more interested in the income. Maybe if you jacked it up a bit, 60%, something.
So, do you know
Ooh,
about this
that's a
guy
lot.
named L. Ron Hubbard? Because it seems to be we're talking about that because they say you get superpowers if you give them a lot of money and as you rise up the.
Yeah.
I know Elroy Jetson. I've not heard of L. Ron Hubbard. Are they related in some way? Is the L.
Uh,
Ron part of the, or El Ro? I guess it'd be El Ro, right? It's kind of like a Jennifer Lopez, J Lo kind of thing. El Ro. But no, I don't know L. Ron. I don't know
Oh, so
him.
it's the whole Scientology thing where spirit thetans and all the problems on Earth are because of these spirits in us, and you could get clear of it. They call it going clear by giving them a lot of money, and then you'll get superpowers.
Well, we're not big on science up here, so I'm not really. I don't know about stuff that involves the science with Scientology. You
Yeah, I
call
don't
it?
think it's
We
science.
just call it science up here, but yeah, not big on that. Not sure about clearing things. Um, I'm not very clear on a lot of stuff, but you know what? If they're getting a lot of money, money can solve a lot of problems. So maybe there's something to it. I would look into it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'll trust you then with that one.
Fair. Well, this has been very enlightening. I feel like we have come away from this with much wisdom, and hopefully all
And
of our
confusion,
IQ
Cara. I'm
intact.
still a little confused, but yeah,
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
that's not me. That's your problem, right? Because I'm not the author of
hopefully,
confusion. So
is that
it's
Lucy?
it's you not understanding things. No, Lucy's very clear about things. She's scary, but no,
Yeah.
she's always spot on. You always know exactly what she's doing, and it's horrifying. It's frightening.
I've noticed that she does seem to be a lot clearer about things.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
hmm.
yeah. More. She's a straight shooter. I can't do that. I can't do that kind of
Also, so
thing.
I have to ask you then about Lucy since you brought her up.
Yeah.
She gets the bad rap amongst Christians, especially. Like she's the evil one. But then, if you look at the stories in the which document supposedly, she didn't kill very many people in the Bible. You destroyed the whole planet and wiped out Sodom and Gomorrah, and also the head count is in the billions. How come she gets the bad rap?
Well, we're at the meetings, right? We're going through the script. There's all this horrible stuff that's supposed to happen. She's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. At a certain point, somebody's got to do it, right? Who's going to do it? Everything falls on me, okay? And then yeah, she's got so many followers though now. Most of the Christians are following her now, and that's disappointing. Um, but the book did end up being a lot more the kind of thing that she would have liked back when she was evil. She's changed her ways though. So
Oh.
what do you want to do?
Well,
Yeah,
that's good to know.
she's actually a very sweet person. You gotta love her. Yeah, I would recommend
That's
people going towards her actually at this point.
oh
Yeah,
wow.
because I'm not really for you people, right? I'm for the people 3 billion years from now.
It's
She's
kind
looking
of what
out
it
for you
seems
guys.
like.
She's looking out for you guys much more than I am.
But I thought you said she was in charge of the hell place.
She is. That's just for the bad people though. Nothing's
Uh,
gonna save you, by the way. You're not gonna be able to pray to Jesus and get out of your shit. If you did something bad, you're going to the catheter room. So that's just the way
Oh,
it's going to be. Yeah.
wow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
different than the version I learned. I learned that once you're saved, you're always saved. Is that not how it
That's not
works?
even slightly true. No. That's
Wow.
I don't know who came up with that. Obviously that's a ploy to get your money, right? Don't listen, people. Don't listen.
Probably.
Yeah. You pay
I did catch on to that one.
I'm not gonna have somebody else pay for your crap. Please. I mean, Jesus was just supposed to go down and give some good advice, help out a little in that regard, and then he blew it completely. Just completely blew it. Forgot to tell people don't rape, don't enslave people, treat women right. He got all caught up with oh they love me, oh they love me, oh they love me. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say that, and then he was even confusing about all that stuff. Did you come to bring peace or a sword? Make up your mind. God, I could have, he wasn't my first choice. I don't know if you know this, but we went through an interview process. Everybody else said no, and he was pretty much bottom of the barrel. So, what are
yeah,
you
well,
gonna do?
well, with what you were asking for, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean but you know what? It's a weekend. Come on, it's a weekend. You lose a weekend. Big whoop. People are such wussies.
Well, you made us that way, so.
That's true.
That's
That's a good point. That's
that's
a fair
true.
point. Yeah.
All right. So this
Yeah.
might be a good time, Kara, to ask Brian back for the.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me go
Yeah.
get him real quick.
Is
Hold
All
on.
there a
right. Thank you, Mr.
process?
D.
Hey, here, take the shirt. Take the shirt. There we go. Okay. Thanks. There we go.
Oh, hey, welcome
Hey.
back.
Hey. Great to
Thanks for
see you.
coming back. Now,
Yeah, I
are
had to
you
take the dog out.
aware of what goes on while Mr. Deity is talking? Are you listening in the whole time?
No, I just let him do his thing.
Oh, okay.
He's a
Okay. Well,
kooky, crazy kind of
I
guy.
think the
Yeah.
last time you told us he transitioned you to Texas to visit relatives. Did he do something like that
That's
again?
true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Texas is not a place you want to go frequently, but I have family there, so I need to see them, you know.
that tracks.
I haven't
Uh,
even met my granddaughter yet. I got to go meet my
oh,
granddaughter. She's
What?
4 months.
Really?
She's not 4 months old yet. She's still 3 months old. She's going to be 6 months old by the time I see her in November. So whatever that is, whatever that makes her now, 4 months. Yeah, that's roughly
Oh,
4 months.
well,
Yeah.
congratulations. If I happen to be in Texas at the same time you're there, you'll have to come visit. I also
She
have
is
family in
adorable. I'll be
Texas.
in the Dallas area. I'll be
Me
seeing my
too.
buddy Aaron Ra, who's a good buddy of
Yeah.
mine. Love him.
Okay. Message me when you're there. I am
I
also
will
going
do
to be in
that.
Texas.
I
Okay.
will do that. Awesome. First week of November.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, there we go. That would
Stoked.
be awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Look at us. We got plans. All right.
Nice.
Well, very cool. Well, thanks for joining us back again. And
Oh, this
I
was
think
fun.
this was a lot of fun. We got so many good questions answered, and I know we have more, but we'll go to the hangout. Do you want to stick around and hang out with us at all, or I know
Yeah, I
we've
can
taken
stick
up
around for
much
a
of your
little.
evening.
I
Okay.
can stick around a little longer. It's only 7 o'clock here. So
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well,
yeah,
okay. Before we go to the hangout, we did have one last question, which was, do you do stand up or improv in LA? And if so, where do we get tickets?
I do not. I am absolutely horrified at the thought of trying stand up. I would kind of, there's a part of me that would really like to try it, but I'm absolutely terrified. So
Oh,
um
you
I
would
if
be
I
so
could
good.
if I can, I'm not afraid of audiences at all because I've been playing music professionally since I was 13 years old. So
Yeah.
I'm used to audiences and that kind of stuff. But in terms of like getting up and trying to do a stand-up routine,
how about
not there.
joining a team of improv comedians?
Ooh.
I could probably do that. I could have fun doing that. I think. Yeah, I think I
I've
would
been
be
to a few
okay.
of those things, and those seem like they'd be more up your alley for sure if you just
Well,
want to stand on stage
the
and
t- the two main leads in my film that I made back in 2003 were both Groundlings, which is kind of like the second city of LA. Um, second city is the Chicago troupe, um,
Oh,
where so many comedians go to Saturday Night Live. Now a lot of them come from the Groundlings. So
very
and they were
cool.
brilliantly funny, so incredibly funny together. They used to kill me. Really fun stuff. But yeah, I just don't
But you kept
have.
resurrecting, so it
Yeah, I
didn't have
just don't
quite the
have.
impact.
I don't have the. If I were going to do anything right now, I would do another album of music. But and I have enough
Ooh.
songs written, and I could do that. I just need to get the motivation to do it. So
Well, keep us posted. We want to know when you have that out.
will do if it ever
We will let
happens.
folks know.
I
Okay.
wanted to make more movies, but it's just such a big process. It's so difficult and it's hard to
Oh,
get
I
money
believe
and
it.
all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
and
Fair.
I've been involved a little bit with the Skeptoid organization, and as they created a film, and it's a nightmare to get it
Yeah.
distributed these days.
Oh yeah. 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 It's a pain. I do actually have I have a I have got such an old deal that's perennial with the former head of Sony Latin America, who anything I do, he will take and try to get it sold to Netflix or whomever. But I haven't talked to him in years, so I don't even know if he's still alive
Oh
or doing
no.
anything. So he might be gone for all I know. But
Well, fair.
yeah.
Well, I've got your YouTube channel in the chat here. Is there any place else people should go if they want to keep up with what you're up to or any of your
Well, they can
content?
go to patreon.com/Mr. Deity if they want to support the work.
Yeah.
I do want to. I have more Mr. Deities that I want to do. I'm going to continue doing that series for as long as I
Oh,
can,
please.
even if it's just
Yeah.
me doing like the one that I talked about, Mr. Deity and the Ascension, is a kind of an homage to Bob Newhart because it's a one-sided phone call. And I grew up loving Bob Newhart. I watched the original Bob Newhart show, and then I used to buy his stand-up records. And people don't realize he was just an amazing comic, but people don't know that he started doing stand-up because Don Adams, who played Agent 86 on Get Smart. Do you remember the Get
Yeah.
Smart series? Anybody? Rob, you
Yeah.
Yes.
got to remember Get
Yes.
Smart,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's
They
Agent
were good
99.
friends. And I think Bob was doing something like insurance or I don't know, something menial, but he was obviously very funny. And he used to go down to the comedy clubs and he became good friends with Don Adams. And Don Adams stole one of his jokes and told it, I think it was on the Tonight Show or something. And Bob was like, I can do that. And he went to an open mic night. And I don't know if I'm remembering the story in all its details, but he got seen and someone said, do you want to do an album of comic stuff? And he said, I guess I can put together an album. And like in a very short time, he had the number one hit comedy album in the country. And then he did another one right after that. And I think he held the number one and two spots for 2 years on the comedy. Just a meteoric rise. All of a sudden he's making 10 grand a night in Vegas, just back in like 1960, I don't know, 61, 63, something like that. I mean, it's just he's one of my comic heroes. Um, and so
Amazing.
I did the one-sided phone conversation. I'd been wanting to do something Bob Newhart style, and it was really fun to do, incredibly fun to do, but hard. I mean, I had to do so much rehearsal to make that work.
Oh, yeah, I can't even imagine. Well, that's
Yeah,
super exciting. So now people know to go subscribe, and then they'll
yeah,
get to hear it.
right,
Sweet.
right.
All right. Well, I've got your links in the chat, and we'll go ahead and wrap up then and head on over to the Hangout where people can ask
Okay,
further questions. Thank
awesome.
you for coming. Thank you and Mr.
Thank you.
Deity for
Thank you
coming.
for having
Uh,
us. Yeah,
yes,
that was
always,
great.
always welcome here. Yeah, that was fantastic. Can't wait to do it again. Hopefully, we'll have a third coming. Uh, and of course, we're here every week. So don't forget to join us next week, everybody. Same bat time, same bat channel. We're going to have Janice Selby next week talking about divorcing religion, a workshop approach. And also, don't forget to follow us on the social medias. It helps us out. And it also helps you keep up with what's going on. And it helps other people find us who might need our services. So we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube. So feel free to follow us in any of those locations if you were so inclined. And Rob, how else can people get involved?
Yes, they can join this organization as a volunteer. We've learned that healing can come from helping other people, and our volunteers find meaning and purpose by volunteering with Recovering from Religion. All of the services that we provide are done by volunteers, and we're always in need of more people. There's all sorts of things you can do besides working the helplines. We need people to find and vet and post good resources for our clients to use, to host the support groups, support the online community by moderating it, and also people who have IT skills. Also, what we're doing right now, we need people to host our shows and hangouts and also to do the editing so that they can wind up on YouTube as also our audio podcast. So you can volunteer for us by hitting the volunteer button on our main page, going to recoveringfromreligion.org/volunteer. And lastly, let me mention there is a short video, just 3 minutes long, that we have on the main page with over 3,000 views now. And you can share it with those who need our support, our services, anyone who you know who can use our services. We lay it all out in just 3 minutes. It is called RFR What We Do, and you can search for that on YouTube.
All right. And with that, let's get some closing thoughts from Dr. Ray. What do you have for us?
I have closing thoughts. I have real closing thoughts for Brian and Mr. Deity. First of all, Brian, I had the privilege of speaking with Bob Newhart just a few weeks ago when I was in Chicago. And
Oh,
you,
wow.
yeah, I sat down with him. I have photographs. I can send you photographs of he and I having a nice little chat. So keep that
Oh,
in
that's
mind.
amazing.
Yeah, it was really amazing, especially you being a. Now we're switching to Mr. Deity. Since you're Mr. Deity, you should know what I'm talking about, but you don't
Yeah.
because you're a fraud. You're a fraud. I have been watching you since you began. I'm aging myself a little bit here, I think. But here's the deal, Mr. Deity. I am so confused after this discussion that I think you need to call into the Recovery from Religion helpline and get some help. I'm just saying that. So I got a fucking degree in theology, and you have totally screwed everything I ever learned in my theology training. So I don't even know what to say. It's really bad. I may not be able to sleep tonight because you've fucked up my whole worldview. I am, however, glad to know this one thing. When my hamster died when I was 7 years old, I asked my mother, would the hamster go to heaven? And she said, no, only people go to heaven. So I'm really glad to know that I
Oh,
will be able to
oh,
see my hamster in heaven. I know my mother she was a really nice person, but she didn't understand,
right,
obviously, your
right.
theology. So that piece I understand. Did I hear correctly when you said did I hear you lightened up on the whole masturbation thing? Did I hear that correctly?
I was the only reason I was against it ever was because of the all-knowing thing. I don't give a crap what people do. People
Oh,
should
okay. Well,
I actually feel like it's an obligation. You gotta do whatever you can do to bring a little joy into the world. So I'm all for it. I would
okay.
be like, that should be a daily thing. We should have made that a commandment. Pop off one a day. Come on,
Well,
people. And the world
that
would be a better place because so many people are uptight, right?
you're absolutely right, and that leads me to my last observation that I think would help you a lot because that particular thing has been one of the principles of the flying spaghetti monster since we first learned about him 20 years ago. So I'm going to suggest that you sound about as incompetent as the flying spaghetti monster, but maybe if you two put your heads together, you could do a little bit better and begin with changing the whole thing about masturbation, which the FSM could help you with. So, and that's all I got to say to you. I don't want to argue
Well,
with you about your bad theology or anything, but that's all I
we're
got.
both we're both meatheads, so that could work.
Okay.
He's yummy though. He's so yummy. Oh,
Right. Yep.
little garlic. Oh,
Yep. So
yeah.
everybody is viewing. I hope you'll look. We have our fall excursion is coming up in a few weeks. So if you're interested in coming and having a great long weekend, we got all sorts of things planned. And yours truly, Kara, right here, our very own Kara, has put all the program together. And I will guarantee you it's going to be a stupendous program, including, as I just heard today, some kind of a scavenger hunt by which you will get prizes. So there
Wow.
you
Yes.
go. Yeah. And
Yes.
no cheating, Mr. Deity. No cheating.
That's right.
Okay.
Gotta have photographic evidence for every clue.